Good morning everyone and welcome back. My name is Lynn and I am Pretty Papercraft 67. And I love my brother Scan and Cut. I just wanted to come on and share with you my brother Scan and Cut. I am sure that there are many people that are familiar with the brother Scan and Cut. About 8 years ago I bought myself the brand new model that was then available in Australia. I think it was the CM350, I think, the brother Scan and Cut too. And at that stage, I was a card maker and a scrapbooker. And I had seen all these wonderful projects that were being created on the brother Scan and Cut. And I just wanted one. So I saved and I finally had enough to buy one. And I brought it home. And yes, I played with it a little bit. But it kind of really didn't do what I hoped it would do. And also my husband and I, we had the business back then. We owned bakeries, and if anyone knows bakeries, it's your life, and your life becomes your hobby. So I really didn't have the opportunity to learn the brother Scan and Cut, and I ended up selling it. And even as the lady walked out the door with it, I kind of regretted my decision, but anyway, it was done and dusted. So for 8 years I've contemplated buying another brother Scan and Cut, and I decided that I would buy a new one, but for a completely different reason. So I went online and checked out the prices of the newer Scan and Cuts, the SDX and the DX, and there's so many different versions of it now. But yeah, the price of a brand new one was really out of my reach, so I started looking for second hand. And I found this one on eBay. A lovely lady down the Gold Coast had it, and she was very helpful, and she answered all my questions. And so I bought it, and it arrived. So basically, what I wanted the Scan and Cut for this time was for fussy cutting. I have now got arthritis in my knuckles, and it makes it extremely hard for me, especially now that we're coming into winter, to do a lot of fussy cutting, and in most of my projects I fussy cut. So I brought this, this came home, and I was also very excited, and I plugged it all in, and I had bought these beautiful digitals from My Porch Prints and a few other designers, and I loaded it in, and it didn't read the colour images, and I was really disappointed. It would read things like this. It's a scanner. So the brother Scan and Cut is a scanner, for those that don't know, and you scan your images in, and it will read the images, and then you can cut them out. So it was excellent for doing, you know, your black and white stamped images. These type of things, yes, I do colour them up with watercolour or watercolour pencil, things like that. So it was going to be very helpful for that type of thing. It was also great for cutting out sentiments, or I have the Tim Holtz Field Notes stamp set, so stamping them and cutting those out, it was great for that. But it just wouldn't recognise the colour images, and I was really disappointed. So anyway, I played with it, and I sort of did what I could. It was good in the sense that it's got, I don't know offhand, 300 or so built-in patterns into the Scan and Cut. But you also have the ability of scanning in to the machine and saving your images to its memory, so that you can come back and cut these things out later. So it's really very helpful for me for my tag templates, for my envelope templates, folio templates, things like that, where I've saved them all to the memory of the machine, and now when I want tags, I can just go in, load in my 12 by 12 paper or my A4 cardstock, and just cut them out in a matter of a minute. So I'm very happy with that. But I really wanted it for the colour images. I've got such beautiful digitals from My Porch Prints, and I just really wanted it for that. That's why I bought it. So I kept searching and going on YouTube and looking at different things, and then one lady suggested it may need an update, and it was like, oh, of course it would need an update. I remember the other one that I had used to have an update. So I went online again onto YouTube and I looked for updates for the CM1110 or 110, and I found there was an update that came out in 2021. The version on this one was probably still the original version 1.2, and the update was 1.819. So I thought, aha. So I did the update and installed it into the machine, and all of a sudden the scanner will now recognise colour images. So I am ecstatic. I won't turn the machine on because it is allowed. These older machines are quite noisy and they take up a lot of space, and I have a very small workspace, but it's very, very easy. It's just, you know, a press of a button, you get the stylus. This one didn't have the pens, the drawing pens. It didn't have the deep set cutting blade, and the mats that I got with it aren't particularly sticky, but I did get a scanning mat, so that's like, you know, $60 worth right there. And I have found, because the mats aren't that sticky, I've cleaned them and things, but if I want to cut something like this out, I'll just put a little bit of clear sellotape around it. The scanner, it doesn't interfere with reading the scanner's reading of the prints, and it holds it in place, so that's perfectly fine for me. So I have gone into cutting out some fussy cutting, and I mean, that I couldn't fussy cut as good as that. You can choose to have a border around your images, or it can directly cut on the line. I like about 1/8 of an inch border around. Aren't these little holly hobbies so cute? So, you know, it's gone from, now let me see if I can find, no, I bet you I can't. Yeah, here we go. So basically I've gone from a sheet like this. You do a little bit of mucking around, helping it to recognise the images you want to cut, and then it cuts them out like this in a matter of about a minute. So for me, it's been a wonderful, wonderful tool that now won't limit me from being able to fussy cut. Just, yeah, really nice. So if you are contemplating a brother scan and cut, I don't know, the newer models are probably better. They've probably got a whole heap of new patterns and designs in them. The scanners are probably much, much better. I think these are a 300 DPI. DPI, is it? Where it reads pixels or something. I'm not an expert, but the scanner is 300. I'm sure it's inch, or I'm sure it's DPI. But the newer models, the scanners are 600, so that obviously would be much more accurate and precise in their picking up of things. Now that I have the colour, now that it will recognise colour, it will recognise up to 20 different colours. So you can scan this in, and some of these images are quite fine, are quite faint, I should say, on the edges. But if you increase the amount of colours that the scanner can recognise, it certainly does help to pick up a lot of the finer images. And the other great thing about it too is it does come, like I said, there's about 300 odd patterns included in the scan cut, but there is some tags. These ones I've just had a fiddle with some distress ink. They're not incredibly attractive at the moment, but the shape and the style are nice, and you can adjust your heights and widths in the machine before you cut. So that kind of thing. And it also has a variety of book plates, that sort of thing. If the patterns in the machine, I will say, are probably more suited to a card maker or a scrapbooker than a junk journaler. But you never know, they may come in very handy. And now, like I said, now that I've got all my folios and tags and envelope templates in the machine, it's as easy as on your mat. This is the mat. On your mat, you just put your 12 by 12 pattern paper, feed it into the machine, blah blah blah, hit pattern, da da da, and it will print out on any pattern paper that you want for an envelope or a folio or a tag background. These are really, really sweet too. I just wanted to show you these. I will link. My memory is terrible, so I will link these artists' down below. But I bought this little fussy cut bunnies last night. Just beautiful. So there was 4 pages of them, but so from that again to these. Look, aren't they just the sweetest little things? Little bunny rabbits. And they're all cut out in a matter of a minute. And I seriously couldn't fussy cut that well myself. So, loving it, loving it, loving it. That's the next ephemera bundle I'm going to start working on. Some bunnies. Yeah, so I just really wanted to come on and share with you my experience with the Brother Scan and Cut so far. I'm sure there is a learning curve, and I will get there in the end for all the other things. Oh, there's so many other things you can do. But for the moment, for me, it's saving my hands. The fussy cutting is beautiful. And I'm really, really enjoying just using a new piece of equipment. So there you go. I hope that is of interest to people. There is a million and one YouTube tutorials on scan and cut. So yeah, I'm just a novice and I'm learning. I learn best, I think, when I watch videos, and I learn that way. So yeah, if you want to know more specific details, I would suggest get onto YouTube and have a look. But if you want it for fussy cutting, or if you want it for scrapbooking, or if you want it for card making, good. It's a really, really good investment piece. I hope everyone is well and having a wonderful day. It's cold here in Brisbane today. It's quite overcast and a bit rainy. But they do promise us sunshine for tomorrow, so let's hope so. Alright everyone, thank you so much for joining me again today. Be kind to one another, and take care, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.